A very good evening to all of you. Artificial intelligence is often hailed as the most disruptive technology of the century, and its impact on finance and business is profound. The integration of AI into various aspects of these industries is transforming the way companies operate, make decisions, and interact with customers. However, it's important to acknowledge that the widespread adoption of AI also raises certain ethical concerns, such as data privacy, bias in algorithms, and the potential impact on employment. Striking a balance between reaping the benefits of AI and addressing these ethical considerations is a crucial for ensuring a sustainable and responsible integration of its disruptive technology in finance and business. The Institute of Cost Accountants of India acknowledges this, and hence today on 30th December 2023, the Banking, Financial Services and Insurance Board of ICMAI has organized a webinar on AI, the most disruptive technology of the century, and its impact on finance and business as a part of its knowledge dissemination to its members. Today, we are fortunate and pleased to have with us CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas, Group Finance and Business Transformation Officer, RMB Holdings, Dubai, UAE, and Chairman Professional Development, ICMAI Dubai Overseas Centers, as our dignified speaker for today. We also have with us CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman, BFSIB and IASB, to address the webinar. I am CMA Dr. Aditi Dasgupta, Joint Director, BFSIB, your host for today. I humbly welcome all of you, but before that, let us start with the Institute anthem. Can you give me a few minutes, please?
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय.
I would now request CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman BFSIB, for his special address. Briefly to introduce Sir, he is a fellow member of ICMAI and associate member of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, holding qualification from CIPFA London as Chartered Public Finance Accountant. He has 38 years of experience of working in the commercial bank in different capacities. He has brought out several publications on banking for ICMAI, which include 3 editions on risk-based internal audit of commercial banks, guidance note on concurrent audit of commercial banks, internal audit of treasury functions of commercial banks, aid memoir on lending to MSME sectors, including restructuring and MSME credit, and aid memoir on infrastructure financing. At present, he is the Central Council member of ICMAI and the chairman of the Banking, Financial Services and Insurance Board and the chairman of Internal Auditing and Assurance Standards Board, IASB, ICMAI. He is a member of SAFA NPO and Cooperative Committee. With this, we welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. CMA Aditi Dasgupta. A very good afternoon to you all in this winter session. And this winter season is really a very enjoyable season, we know. But I am also equally, grateful to our all attendees who have, in this the last day of, the rather last one day, they are here to enjoy a session by CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas, whom I welcome profusely and very thankfully I welcome him from Dubai. As you already, Dr. Dasgupta has introduced him. So far, my introductions with CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas, I can tell you, a multifarious degree holder looking for always enhancing his learning and learning and learning. And Mr. M. Ramadas is a prolific speaker and also writer. Today he is here with us, and in the day I can simply remember this year 2023 has witnessed many glorified days, glorified month in this year. And this year has brought many hopes, definitely, especially the session which will be delving on through Dr. Sri CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas. It would be encouraging you rather to how to navigate for the coming decade, how this world of finance will be governed by AI. And basically, from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, we feel that artificial intelligence seems to be the next big thing in many industries today. It would be there already, and the technology is infiltrating every sector and transforming the tasks that computers perform into a lot of hype. The rise of digitizations and the thirst for automation are fueling the demand for AI solutions. And the AI algorithms are capable of processing vast amounts of data at unprecedented speed. And we have seen it in finance. This capability is crucial for analyzing market trends, customer behavior, and financial transactions. Business decisions are now increasingly driven by data-driven insights derived from AI models, enabling organizations to make more informed and strategic choices. AI-powered automation is streamlining routine tasks in finance and business processes. This includes tasks such as data entry, document processing, and customer support. Improved efficiency leads to cost savings, allowing companies to allocate resources more effectively and focus on higher value activities. AI models are enhancing risk assessment and management in the financial sector. And even machine learning algorithms can analyze historical data to identify potential risks and predict market fluctuations. Businesses are utilizing AI for fraud detections, credit scoring, and compliance monitoring, improving the overall security of financial transactions also. AI is revolutionizing the customer experience in finance and business. In fact, chatbots and virtual assistants powered by AI are providing instant and personalized customer support, and recommendation engines based on machine learning offer personalized product and service suggestions, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. So these are all revolutions taking place in the financial markets. AI is playing a crucial role in algorithmic trading. Machine learning model analyze market data and execute trades at speeds and frequencies impossible for human impact. The use of AI in trading has the potential in optimize investment strategies, improve portfolio management, and increase returns. AI is enabling the development of personalized financial solutions. Robo-advisors, for example, use algorithms to tailor investment advice based on individual financial goals and risk tolerance. Personalization extends to other financial services such as insurance and banking, where AI helps create customized products and services. AI is assisting business in ensuring regulatory compliance by automating process related to reporting, auditing, and adherence to industry standards. The ability of AI to track and analyze changes in regulation helps companies adapt swiftly to evolving compliance requirements. It is a catalyst for innovations, driving the development of new business models and services. Startups and established companies alike are leveraging AI to disrupt traditional industry practices. The constant evolution of AI technologies opens up new possibilities, challenging business to stay agile and embrace change. Artificial intelligence companies are also initiating to deliver a robust service to their customers by using sub-technologies like machine learning, deep learning, edge computing, business intelligence, etc., as their prominent business principle. In a nutshell, if we tell that artificial intelligence is used as a tool to integrate multiple sources of data or a vast amount of data, data security, real-world applications, predictions, cloud operations, etc. with the arena of AI technologies at the beginning. The world has experienced so much so far. The future is anticipated to be more sophisticated and personalized with the help of artificial intelligence. To the role of this artificial intelligence in an enterprise has become so important that it has touched every facet of business, and its crucial place will significantly grow over the coming years. Artificial intelligence, though revolutionary in itself, is an enabler that needs to be used effectively to achieve business objectives. And for that reason, the risk mitigations, how to really apply AI fruitfully, these are all to be learned. And today, our honorable speaker will speak on this matter, how it has been a disruptive. There is a debate, of course, that artificial intelligence should be whether considered to be as a disruptive or not. I think today's speaker will also clear this idea amongst us, whether this disruptive word is really we have used, because it has been now a very common word for everybody in this world of IT. Now I would also like to tell to our all esteemed participants in this program, our institute is looking for a very important our members would be given some sort of role, and they're already playing role. But now we analyze and we have understood that the financial analysis and risk management, compliance and regulations, cost management, budgeting and forecasting, blockchain accounting, data analysis and business intelligence, cyber security, fraud prevention, and even advisory services and education and training roles. Our institute will be definitely playing a very big role for our members. We request all our members to simply be very much alert in this matter, and we will be holding many programs from the BFSI board. We will be looking forward for many such programs so that the necessary expertise and skills are inculcated amongst our CMAs. With this, our contribution for ensuring financial stability, compliance, and sustainable growth in these dynamic and disruptive sectors of finance and business will be definitely ensured by the CMAs. I am really overwhelmed for your presence today itself on the day of 30th December 2023. I wish all of you, my presidents and my vice presidents, all my council members, they are very much helping us to have this sort of program from the BFSI board. I convey my heartfelt thanks to them, and especially I thank to all the participants, and I wish them a very happy new year 2024 and a professional new year, a very successful new year 2024. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your address. Now, with immense pleasure, let me introduce our dignified speaker for the theme today. CMA Tamil Selvan Ramadas, as I have earlier mentioned, that he is the Group Finance and Business Transformation Officer, RMB Holdings, Dubai, UAE, and Chairman Professional Development, ICMI, Dubai Oasis Center. Sir has his SFA from the Harvard Business School, USA, a CMA from USA and ACMA from India, MCSI UK, CSCA USA, MIPA Australia, AFA UK, FCPA UK, ACIARB UK, CICA USA, PMP USA, PMI RMP USA, Cert IFRS UK, a certified IA UK. He is also a certified IPSS from UK, a certified DA from UK, and a certified SF from UK also. Sir is also a BV from UK, a certified vessel valuer, Lloyd's Academy UK, EPMB from IIMC India, EPOP from IIM Ahmedabad India, MCOM from BU India. Well, it has not ended yet. Sir is also a seasoned strategic finance and business transformation professional, trained from Harvard Business School, USA, with international accreditations in finance, accounting, project management, international arbitrations, risk management, and maritime economics and finance. And international award-winning interdisciplinary finance and business transformation leader. Sir has more than 25 years of global corporate experience across 20 verticals, ranging from international maritime cluster, Dubai ports and free zones, Dubai government, Jebel Ali Free Zone regulatory bodies, banking and real estate. He is also currently heading as a Group Chief Finance and Business Transformation Officer of RMB Holdings, JAFZA UAE. Mr. Tamil Ramadas, in the past 2 decades, has served in various capacities as Group CFO, Group Head of Finance at Dubai Government Port Customs, Free Zone and Maritime Authority, Masa Group, Dubai World, AI Shams, City Corp, Ford Motors, and large business houses in UAE and India. As a prestigious core member of Dubai Maritime City Authority, Government of Dubai, he has instrumental in making Dubai as the leading maritime capital of the world in 2017. A leader in smart fiscal planning, he has led and implemented the first ever IPSS project in Dubai government maritime sector, serving on various international research through Thought Leadership and Ethics Committee. Mr. Tamil is an expert in championing the triple helix model of integrating academia and the industry by imparting more than 27,000 hours of part-time training and teaching globally to more than 6,000 students and aspirants in higher education sector during the past 2 decades, 2002 to 2022. We heartily welcome you, sir. But before we start off, here is an announcement that we would be having a question answer session at the end. So members are requested to kindly provide their questions in the comment box, and our evident speaker would definitely address them during the question answer session. With this, over to you, sir.
Namaskar to all of you, and good evening to all the participants here, and Salam Alaikum from Dubai. And first of all, I would really like to thank CM Aditi ma'am for giving a very wonderful introduction and very kind for you, ma'am. And secondly, I would go, welcome ma'am. Secondly, I would like to thank my mentor, my good friend, my good colleague, and a very fantastic personality we always meet when I come to India is Mr. CMA, Shri Chitranjan sir. Good morning, good evening, sir. Namaskar to you, and really happy to meet you online, if not in person. And thanks a lot for all of your efforts to bring this event in a short span of time, so that by the end of the year, still we have a great event to share to our students and to the fraternity members at large. And your good work as a Central Council member and also as a chairman of BFSI board is well recognized even in this part of the world. We always refer to your great work and great professionalism, sir, and lot to work with you and your team as well. And without further ado, I also want to take this opportunity to really thank the entire CMA Institute under the leadership of Sri CMA Ashwin Dalwadji, our president, our beloved president of ICMI, and also our vice president of ICMI, Sri CMA Vibhuti Bhushan Naik ji. So thanks to both of your leadership, sir. Under your leadership, I think our institute would go in further great heights as well. Thanks to the Central Council members and all the fraternity members who are here one and all to support our great cost accounting and management accounting fraternity. So with this, my thanks to all of you. I thought I will start the session today, which is one of the most interesting session. Just I want to check, ma'am, can I share it now or is it already shared? You can see it.
No, you have to share it, sir. It's not shared.
Okay, I'll do it right now. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
It's visible.
Fantastic, it's visible. Fantastic. Now, I was talking to our CMA Chitranjan sir for some time and said like we need to do something very important topic to the fraternity of CMA, and he said like go ahead, sir. And this is what came to my mind. Basically, what I'm talking about is disruptive technologies has been coming over these centuries and centuries. We were being as humans in the caves and we founded some stones and we were in the Stone Age and we came out and we did a lot of transformation through technologies which has enhanced the human life, correct? But the technology that is happening now is something different. And that's what the topic of the today is: artificial intelligence, the most disruptive technology of the century and its impact, especially on our business of accounting, finance, and the business fraternity altogether. AI, in fact, is impacting every aspect of every humankind in all the business setup, in all the various fields of science and technology in every discipline across the globe. But being the finance fraternity, we thought how this technology is going to impact is already impacting. This is what the subject of today. Secondly, this technology is so very disruptive that you need to regulate it. If you do not regulate it, it's going to create even more disruption in a negative way, correct? So that's what this session is divided into two levels. Basically, what is AI and how it is impacting our industry. And the last part of the sessions would be how the ethics is going around this technology, how we need to be concerned as finance and accounting person about the ethics of this AI and how do you regulate it. So this is how the session will be taken care, right? So I think we can go into the session and have a lot of insights into it. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change, correct? The only thing that is constant in the world is change. I think nobody would disagree with me. The constant thing that is going to happen is only the change. So we need to embrace the change. And artificial intelligence is the future, and the future is here. It is not tomorrow the artificial intelligence is going to come to the world. It is already there. It has been there yesterday itself. It has been there even a year back. It is even before some decade. So how it is impacting, how it is going to impact us, that's very, very important. But as humans, we need to also adapt to this great change. So when I'm going to talk about this change, let me talk about how technology has really impacted the human life and how humans have evolved over a period of this revolution, which we call them as industrial revolution. You talk about industries that has come for mass production, machineries coming and taking the work of humans, humans working with machines. We talk about economies of scale. All this happened in 1800s, 17 to 1800s. You can see that was propelled by the technology of steam and water power mechanization. So you can see the first ever implementation of the revolution that has happened in the last 200 years has started with the steam and water power. And you can see the industries have developed a lot. You can see the industrial revolution started in Europe and that got spilled over the global trade as propelled from that. Next, if you can see in the 1800s end, you can see the electrical power, that is the invention of electricity has transformed also the industrial revolution to a different level. It has gone to a whopping change in the field of industry wherein you do not run anything without an electric power, right? So that's what I can see it. I just want to check once more. Can you hear me? Is it all clear? This is Aditi.
Yes, sir. Clear.
It's clear. It's clear. It's clear.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, we cannot think about a life without electricity that is being in a part of our life. Now, in 1900s, you can see the starting of the 1900s. You can see slowly in 1940s, 1950s, the introduction of the electronics came into the market. The electronics has propelled along with electricity and electronics, it took to a different level called computers. It took to something called automations. It went to a level in 1980s and 1990s. Nobody is sitting without a computer at their laptop or using these types of technologies, which is propelled by the electricity combined with electronics as a transformation to the industrial revolution. And finally, it has gone to even a greater level in the recent past of 10 years. You can see in last 2010 onwards, you can see robotic systems. We call about automated systems, automated factories, smart factories, Internet of Things, IoTs, artificial intelligence, big data, data analytics. Correct? All these are the buzzwords that has come. This is the next and the final revolution of industry that has happened until we call them as Industrial Revolution 4. And I'm going to talk about Industrial Revolution 5 that is yet to come, that is called the humanoids. That is nothing but more than robotic systems where there will be a system of robots who will be exactly resembling that of a humankind. They will even have the touch and feel feelings. They will have emotional intelligence, not just the intelligence of doing some work. They will replace humans. They will be similar to humans in many aspects. Now, do not be afraid. Science cannot be stopped. The technology cannot be stopped. For change is the only thing constant. We should know how to embrace it. So that is about Industry Revolution 0.4, 5.0, right? So we'll talk about all those things in the further slides. So AI And that is what the most important topic of the day. We're going to focus more on that, even though technology has been evolving in various aspects. But the most forerunner of this whole technology in the recent time, and that's going to be for next, even for decades and centuries, that the artificial intelligence. We call them as a machine learning, we call them as deep learning, we call them as expert systems, where machines can think like humans. They can perform actions almost similar to that of humans. That is what artificial intelligence. They learn from themselves. They don't have to be inputted with the logarithms along always throughout their lifespan from the human intervention. They can learn from what has been inputted from what are data that is coming into their system. That is what the artificial intelligence. And to my knowledge, to my humble understanding, in the last centuries, whatever technology has come, and this is the most disruptive technology of the whole century in a very, very positive manner. Also, I'm looking at it's more disruptive, not in a negative way. It's more disruptive in a very positive way, because the way that is impacting every aspects of human life globally across nations is something really, really unbelievable, right? So our intelligence is what makes us human. We all know that. We have the sense that is different from all the other creations, which makes us humans, so that we have the free will of thinking process which made us to evolve to such a level what we are now. With this intelligence, we also created artificial intelligence, and it is just an extension of our quality of intelligence. So we need to embrace that. We need to know how the intelligence created by our own system is also going to benefit to us, and that is what the AI intelligence system. Let's talk about some statistics before we get into the real topic. According to Statista data recently published, the AI market size is projected to rise from USD 241, roughly $242 billion in 2023 to almost 740 billion in 2030. In another 7 years, you will see a compounded annual growth of 17.3%, which is almost, I would say, more than 3 times, or almost like 2.5 to 3 times from the current market size that is going to go. Wow, what a whopping number, what a whopping increase that has been projected. And this may be even increasing. This may be a very, very conservative number. This is what I can see. So this is what international statistics talks about the concept of AI market. Now let's talk about our country, India, and what is India doing in this context, and what is its contribution, and what it is going to benefit from that, right? So recently you can see India has always been a forerunner in the technology market, especially in the information technology. And and there is nobody ever have to tell you that our Indian markets and our Indian leaders have gone across the globe, and they are leading even great IT markets. You talk about Google, you talk about Microsoft, you talk about Oracle. You can see a lot of Indian technocrats have gone and led the international technology market, especially in the information technology. So we are never been lagging on that. Now India has also framed a new ministry called the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, which has set up 7 expert groups to collectively brainstorm on the vision, objectives, and outcomes of designing the India's AI pillar, right? The India AI pillar is what they're talking about, correct? And it was already thought and envisaged none other than our beloved and great and respected and honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And under his envisioning, under his auspicious, under his great leadership, this particular setup was made. And you can say that this has been propelled in a high level, and you can see some statistic that has already started giving some fruitful outcomes of it. That is that the AI market size reached $680 million in 2022 and is expected to reach 3,900 million, which is roughly around 4 billion. You're talking about dollars by 2028, which is actually a 33% compounded annual growth. Wow, wow, what a great projection that India is having for next 4-5 years. And next comes the most convincing and the most important number. This has been recently published in 23rd of December from one of the leading newspapers in India, and also supported by various other reports of research markets, which says that AI is expected to add $967 billion to the Indian economy by 2035. In another 9 years, roughly, or 8 years, you will see that this is what, and around 450 to 500 billion in next 2 years, my friends. This is what the contribution of AI is going to be to our market, right? This is all in target to our country's target of 5 trillion GDP, and you already know, and India is already joining in the top class of bandwagon of top economies in terms of size and market. So I think as India is growing extraordinarily, exponentially in its economic growth and market size, AI will also contribute, AI will also be a great part of that particular market size. Now, let's talk a little bit more on that. In order to understand this particular Indian leadership in terms of AI, this was a recent event that has, unfortunately, I missed the event. I actually wanted to do it due to my other preoccupations. I couldn't travel from Dubai. Actually, under the great leadership, under the inauguration of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, on December 12th, he did a great job of conducting an event, a summit called Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit 2023, which is actually contributed by the India AI, what do you call this event, India AI concept from the Ministry of the previous ministry, which I was talking about, the Electronics and Information Technology. We call them as India AI, right? What has that come out of this particular summit? GPA, generative, you can talk about the generative AI is a multi-stakeholder initiative established in June 2020 with 15 members to guide the responsible development and use of AI. That's a very underlining statement, responsible development, because this is one of the most disruptive technology, my friends, where you will see that unless you regulate it, unless you'll see those in coming slides, unless you take a responsive development, this AI can be having a hit back in a negative way. So that's why we need to really be responsive in developing and use of the AI. The purpose of this initiative is to bridge the gap between the theory and practice. How do you put the artificial intelligence into practice, not just stop with research, put them into an application level and the democratic utilization of all these things, correct? India secured a pivotal leadership position in the global partnership on artificial intelligence, ascending from incoming chair in 2023 to leading chair from December 23 for one more term. So wow, this is a great achievement. This is an outcome of all these efforts under the leadership of our great Prime Minister and also the great committees and ministries working day in and out on that. India's AI leadership reached new heights as she hosted the 3-day GPAI summit event, that is the 12th to 14th December, which I was referring to, which was attended by 29 members united to shape the responsible AI landscape. So this is what the leadership already India is doing it on this AI landscape, AI platform, and the AI market and the economy. Now, let me talk about the topic in specific in the granular level now. I just already to call this as the most disruptive technology, and we want to understand why it is called, why we framed it as one of the most disruptive technology of the century. There is a reason. AI is rapidly changing how transactions and social interactions are organized in society today. AI systems and algorithms supporting their operations play an increasingly important role, ranging from clinical decision support systems like in medical diagnosis, right? You can see a lot of AI systems are used to replace the radiology department to analyze the granular cellular level of the body in the medical sciences, policy systems, the predictability of likelihood of the criminal activities in the society, filtering the algorithms that categorize and provide personalized content for users in marketing, in business. You talk about in banking, you talk about in accounting, you talk about in airspace, you talk about maritime technology, you talk about real estate industry, you talk about in the industry of agri-tech. My friends, I work in a conglomerate in Dubai where we also have vertical farming, greenhouse farming. We are talking about AI controlled systems of what you call as monitoring the growth, giving the manure and watering it through complete artificial induced controlled environment of agriculture for hectares of lands. Gone are the days where humans go and check whether this is going to ripe when. Now you have a real-time statistics using the AI technology where this particular brinjal, this particular okra or lady's finger, this particular tomato, this particular cucumber, this particular apple is going to ripe when, so that you do not have to waste it. right? So that is what which is called as agri-tech using the artificial intelligence. It has everywhere. What is the most scattered? So in terms of how much exact liters or drops of water that should be given to that particular plant at the root level is diagnosed by the AI system. With that diagnostic agri technology, where water which is most scarcest in resource in the world is getting properly and optimally used. So that is where I'm talking about the pervasiveness of the artificial intelligence across the industries, across the sectors, across the verticals, across the countries and globally. So the next most important thing, which is really disruptive, is that the ability. This was not the technology we had in the past. None of the technology that was invented in the past had this characteristic, which I put it in the red color here, the ability to mimic or rival human intelligence in complex problem solving sets. Apart from other technologies, as many cognitive tasks traditionally performed by humans can be replaced and outperformed by machines. This is the most, I would say, the most disruptive aspect. It can do things and think similar way the humans can think. And that is why very important to understand this topic as the most disruptive technology of the century. Now, let me talk about the Industrial Revolution 4 and what has come as an outcome of this particular thing. And I'm going to talk about few things, which is very, I would say, like outcome of this AI intelligence, data, what do you call this, vastness. If you talk about the technology that is actually integrated with blockchains and expert systems and predictive analytics, all this was enabled in Industrial Revolution 4. And these are some of the topics, 15 topics I thought I can touch upon how artificial intelligence is already in the market, already prevailed in the economy, already it is a part of our life. Digital twins, correct? What is digital twins? See, we are talking about creating a image, creating an exactly a replica of the reality. Let's talk about a city that is going to be controlled. For example, in Kolkata, you want to control the entire geographical area of almost some thousands of kilometers. You can have a digital version of that under the government system, and you can start controlling it, putting your digital parameters in it, which is similar to that of a physical system. So you're talking about this particular light in the streets of Joka. I've been to IIM Calcutta. I enjoyed my lot of days there, staying in Joka. In Joka, this particular street light is not burning, is not lit up. So the government authorities and the electricity board or the electricity unit of your country or your state can monitor it because of the digital twins. So a fantastic way of creating a digital version of the reality. And we can talk about digital twin itself is another session, which can be for 2 hours. So that's what the whopping technology is all about. IoT, we call them as Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is all about converting a factory or a setup completely controlled from a remote area through a technology of AI or computer technologies advanced where there is a least intervention of humans. Is that clear, my friends? Let me give an idea, a practical example. I've been a part of Dubai Ports, Dubai Port Authorities. We call them as Ports Customs and Free Zone Corporation, JAFSA, which is one of the leading ports in the Middle East and across the globe. DP World manages more than 70 ports across the globe. So this is one of the fastest, most efficient ports. And you can see in last 1 year, 1.5 years back, they already implemented the IoT where the cranes are which lift the so-called containers and offload from the ship and also put it back to the ship. All are controlled manually in a particular room called the control room. Now this control room is totally not controlled by humans. It's automatically controlled through the IoT systems completely, where the robotic systems are controlling this. This is one of the reality I can see what I've experienced in my own life. So this is the implementation of IoT. Similarly, we have augmented reality. We have virtual reality. We have something called 3D printing. Now you can see efficient usage of raw materials like cement, sand, whatever it is, we can be doing with a proper designing. You would have thought about CAD, computer aided design. These are the old technologies, right? Now CADs are used in construction industries, civil industries, and automobile industries, in airspace to design, correct? Now to construct properly, we use a most efficient system that is called the 3D printing, which is like a robotic printing. So a lot of buildings that is constructed in across the cities, like even Dubai, has followed the 3D printing technology, and already even India has been adopting that technologies to create smart villages, to create smart cities, to create smart what you call as communities using the 3D printing technology. Agri-tech, I already talked about agri-tech. Gone are the days where agriculture in the mass level are controlled by human interventions. Agriculture, along with livestock, like animals like cows, buffaloes, all these are bred. All this breeding is also down through an artificial intelligence technology to control in the mass level. For example, sitting here, you can control the number of liters that has been go through a drip irrigation to the roots of that plants. You can control it through an AI technology, controlled environments of production systems like vertical farming. We call them as in-house farming. We call them as smart farming. We call them as agri-tech, where the least interventions of humans are going to be done so that the highest efficiency, highest productivity, and the least usage and the optimal usage of resources are possible in agriculture industry, which is very much important for a country like India, where a lot of resources are being used and wasted sometimes in the agriculture field, where increasing the optimization of the agriculture produce right from the production till reaching to the market as can be enhanced with these technologies. Digital biomarkers, this is what coming to the signs of what you call them as the healthcare, where you will see that you will really have a well advanced systems of predicting the human's disease that can come to them at their later part of life. For example, now you can see videos also, or that's already the market, where by scanning your eyes for some time, they can tell you when a person can get a heart disease, or he can have a cardiovascular disease, when he can have a nephrological or a kidney issue, or when his body can have a neurology issue at what age, so that they predict it advance. And they don't only stop predicting it, they give you also a prescriptive analytics as to what medicine lifestyle you need to change today so that you will not have such issues in the future. So that's a very great boon for the human science and the so-called the healthcare sector, where digital biomarkers are well in advance predicted. Brain computer interface. Now people like having challenged physical challenged people, where they are not able to speak, they can think a lot, they can have a bodily movement, they can have a facial movement. These movements of the brain thinking can be scanned from their brain, and that can be having an interface, and that way they can also be a great employees. For example, a person who couldn't speak, he can have a very high creative knowledge in his brain, which he don't have to write or something, he can just think, and that thinking process can be translated through the so-called the generative artificial intelligence to understand the human brain and transform that into, for example, a person who couldn't speak, who couldn't write, but have a creative idea to write a novel, to write a poetry. He just thinks about it, that gets translated to any language for that matter. These are the great things that is already, I'm not talking about sci-fi here, I'm not talking about science fiction here. This is already there. It is already there. So it's going to be coming the market in mass usage very soon. Tech equity. What is tech equity? How the technology will make equitable distribution of or sociable, I would say the most equitable distribution in a democratic way for all the healthcare system, how the healthcare can reach to all of them using the technology usage. AI diagnostics, this is what I talked about also in biomarkers. Supply chain IoT in factories, supply chains from one country to another country. It is a mass communication, mass interaction, where a lot of human interaction is there, where there could be delays, there is inefficiency, there is cost factors increasing. You can see supply chain has implemented the IoT sector in that, so completely controlled from a remote area. Digital threads of assets life cycle. You as a cost accountant would have studied life cycle costing, correct? Correct, Ms. Aditi? Am I correct? Can I get some response?
Yes,
Absolutely, you are right. Carry on. Carry on.
Absolutely.
Yes. So the digital thread of assets lifecycle costing, right? Now, how to do the lifecycle costing is very difficult, right? From the R&D level till the product will reach to the maturity stage, the lifecycle and final end. So to foresee a product's lifecycle costing, there is something called digital thread. So lifecycle costing will be well predicted with that technology. Digital sovereignty. What a digital sovereignty like is like, for example, governments hold a lot of data about the humans that live in the country, the population statistics. You talk about India has already implemented Aadhaar card. A lot of data are sitting there. How do you protect this data? This data is very much important. This cannot be hacked. This shouldn't. This should be well controlled. So digital sovereignty is will to be should be well protected. So for the purpose of government sovereignty, they will use a lot of digital technology like AI, international space economy. You might be really thinking that I'm talking about sci-fi. You will not believe your next generations. Maybe if you are in very early stage of life, you will see at the later part of your life in another 50 years, or if you already least to a later part of life, maybe the next generations, they will see that you will have a separate economy that is on the space. You will have a space city, you will have a space agriculture, you will have a space trade. Means there is a cities that is already created in a space. This is what, so there is an international space economy. It's not international space area. I'm not talking about international space as a station where we call them as ISS, where international space stations where people go and stay as researching on that particular our whatever called the in the space area, but it is not that. It is going to be beyond that, where there is going to be an international space economy which will be propelled by this artificial intelligence and technology that is going to come out of that particular, or spill out of that particular knowledge, correct? And the last but not the least, that's most important and relevant to our own field, is quantum financial system. What is quantum? It comes from the theory called the quantum theory or the quantum physics, which get into the granular level of subatomic particles. I'm not going to teach you anything on physics here, sorry, because we are finance people, but we need to understand science also contributes to the finance. The debit and credit concepts comes nothing else from the theory of Newton, where it says for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is again reflected for every debit there's an equal and opposite credit. Similarly, science has a lot of inputs that has to give to our so-called finance. As a student of science and also finance, I can say integral calculus and differential calculus has been implemented and as integrated into economics, and we can talk about derivatives, managing derivatives using this calculus theory. Similarly, quantum physics has contributed to quantum financial systems. How it is integrated, we'll talk later on, but just to give a cursor to you, my friends, quantum theory of financial system is that in a short level, every dollar you spend, every rupee you spend will be finally able to be monitored by the government system. Now, for example, how much money that is being floated, how much is the tender currency that is in the market, the Reserve Bank of India might know, but this currency is sitting in whose hands? It is sitting in right hands, or it is sitting in wrong hands? It is sitting in terrorist hands, or it is being, now that with a lot of banking system introduced by this great government, they all are coming into the mainstream of economy, where cash economy is going out, it's getting into the digital economy or digital financial economy. The next level of digital financial economy is the quantum financial economy, where banking system will be able to trace how the funds are being spent. This might, sometimes people may argue it is interfering in the democracy of the humans or the population of the country to spend how, but nobody's going to control you how we're going to spend, but they can understand where the patterns of spending are going to the granular level. For example, me sitting in Chennai, when I come to Chennai for vacation, I spend in a hotel or in a Saravana Bhavan vegetarian restaurant $10 or 100 rupees. This 100 rupees will be traced. Finally, they can know that is what I spent. So this level is going to be going to the as an information to the government. As a responsible government, they can use this data for the beneficial of the country to know how to allocate the resources, how to refund the economy, how to have welfare systems. These all can transform the banking system. I can really see our CMA Sri Chitran sir is there. I can also add value at the end of session. How, being the head of the BFSI, this quantum financial system is going to redefine in the next coming decades how the banking sector and the international banking sector and how the currency markets is going to operate. And that is what going to be supported by AI system, correct? Now, let me talk about the next level in a specific area. Being cost and management accountants, we concentrate more on factory levels as well, and we also contribute a lot than any other accounting body. Same as the main body which contributes to the propelling of the manufacturing segments, right? So you can see how the functions and attributes are being evolving. First is called the smart connection level, where plug and play, tether-free communication, sensor network. Now it is going to the next level called data to information conversion level, that is called smart analytics for component machine health. This level of technology will go and understand what is the health of the machine. We don't even have to do a preventive or we call them as the preventive maintenance system, correct? PMS. This preventive maintenance system will be well enhanced by looking at the well advanced statistics given by the smart system of factories. Where is the health of the particular machines or the system? We called about the twin model for components and machines, twin machine for variation identification, and clustering for similarity in data mining. So a lot of data will be collected from the factories and cognition level, and this data will be re-inputted through the artificial system of IoTs into the machines, where the machine can learn from themselves. Machines will become a live system where they can learn from themselves, and machine itself will come and tell you, do not load me more, I will fail. Please do some preventive mechanism of maintenance for me well in advance. Please do take care of me. Who will tell? Not the factory manager, not the factory supervisor, not the factory technician. The machines themselves will learn themselves from their own data, which is getting inputted 24/7. And that will be so intelligent enough to tell you, please take care of myself like this. And this is called self-configuring, self-adjusting, and self-optimization. Wow. So this is where, my friends, we can see how the smart factory, IoT, AI, and big data is planning to go, right? Now, again, before we getting into the main topic called how AI is going to impact our accounting and finance and business, let me give you some more statistics. How disruptive is this technology? And there is a report that has come from the World Economic Forum in May 2023. And also the same World Economic Forum, I'll talk about how AI can impact the jobs, how it can take over the different jobs, how it can transform the jobs, how it can change the whole industry pattern. And that is the result of this, embracing the AI revolution. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, the technology is here. The technology is here to adopt. We need to embrace it, but with a proper caution and proper what you call as responsible adoption, we call them as, right? You can see the technology is ranked by the share of organizations surveyed who are likely or highly likely to adopt this technology over the next 5 years. They say digital platforms and apps, correct? So big data analytics, encryption and cybersecurity, Internet of Things. These are the technologies, and all these technologies are somewhere or the other touched by AI. Somewhere the other touched by generative artificial intelligence systems. Somewhere the other is touched by the data science. Somewhere the other it is touched by the so-called big data analytics. Somewhere it is touched by the robots. And you can see robots and humanoids on the down because this is in the development stage. I think in another 10 to 15 years, robots and humanoids will be the technology on the top list, which people will really adopt. Correct? You can see for yourself how artificial intelligence and all the so-called technologies in and around and related to that is already at the adoption stage of more than 50 to 60% in their likelihood to be adopted by the industries across the globe, right? And you can see how artificial intelligence strategies from 2023 to 2027 and how the probability that the organization surveyed will prioritize the skills and training in AI and big data, right? You can see the share of business which plans to prioritize skills on the x-axis and the share of business which plans to adopt AI technologies, right? You can see it is across and everybody is going above 40, 50 or 60% of adoption. You can see in insurance and pensions management, media and entertainment, it is more than 60% already. In terms of chemical and advanced materials, it is in the 40 to 60%. If you talk about retail and wholesale of consumer goods, it's already in the 40%. If you talk about agriculture and forestry, it is at the low stage, but it will soon improve because technologies are getting evolved. If you talk about the energies and technology and utilities, already in the 40%. In electronics, it is around 50 to 55%. So you talk about any industry, any particular segment, any particular verticals, you can see all this artificial intelligence and its adoption and the plan to train them on that. Even education and training. Do you think a person like me will be conducting a webinar after 20 years? I don't think so. You will have robotic systems, you'll have humanoids coming and giving you a real-time session of any topic on finance, accounting, quantum mechanics, quantum physics. You talk about economics, you talk about agri-tech, you talk about medicine. All this you will have mostly well humanoid, and humanoid is nothing but a well integration of a biological system of a human with an emotion added to that, with all the artificial systems embedded into it. What will happen is these Humanoids will be super intelligent to talk about any topic in whatever way. Now if you have chat GPT, you can just type it and it will give you a lot of insight. I want to know about what is fixed cost. Oh, then you'll talk about fixed costs, so and so, so and so, so and so. So instead of reading 10 textbooks from various cost and management accountings, all this knowledge will be collected and given as a summary to you. Then you ask further more query, it will enhance, so that with a collective understanding, it will give you a lot of insights and finally to take you to the level of even decision making. That's what we're going to talk about. So here already artificial intelligence here it is there in the market, it's there in the embracing, it has already been embraced by various industries. That's what we're talking about. Now, embracing the AI revolution, I thought of talking about a little bit more on that. There are 4 parameters with which the industries are getting impacted. And the next following report, there is a high potential for automation. They're going forward, the task will be performed by LLMs, okay, not humans, right? So we talk about deep learning, machine learnings, okay? We talk about language learning mechanisms. We talk about machines learning more faster and efficient and intelligent than humans, correct? This is what we're talking about. So where are the potentiality for automation? Where is the potential for augmentation? Humans will continue to perform the task, whereas in automation, it will be almost replaced. Whereas in augmentation, humans will continue to perform, but with the support of the so-called machines of this artificial system. Low potential is that where humans will continue to perform. Unaffected means these tasks will not be performed in the near future by the so-called artificial or the so-called machine learning systems. So let's look at which are the area. Let's talk about jobs with highest potential for automation. Where you can see that? Do you see our profession somewhere here? Yes, you can see last but third or fourth, bookkeeping, accounting and audit clerks, 78% exposure. So we as bean counters, as accountants, we have also auditing clerks. They have a chance of, I would say, 55% getting automated, where there is a 5% augment, I would say 23% augmentation. And you can see I'm just showing my cursor also here. Bookkeeping and accounting, 58% automation chances there, and 23% augmentation, which means half of the work can be done by machines, whereas 22% is having a low potential, which will not be replaced, which is very, very strategic thinking process, right? So this is what we're talking about: brokerage clerks, production planning and expediting clerks, file clerks, tellers in the bank, statistical assistants, and management analyst. And if you talk about loan interviewers and clerks, all these professions and all these jobs are in a high level of automation and augmentation. And job functions group with highest exposure for automation and augmentation. You're talking about occupations like IT and technology. You know, there is something called low code, no code. People with code writing had great jobs. Now we have something called low code, no code, where the artificial system will write the code according to the way it has to be written, correct? Finance is also in the top list, where it can have a big impact on automation, customer sales, operations, human resource, marketing, legal, correct? For example, lawyer has to refer to a various legal piece of work like the past pronouncements, the past laws, the amendments, a lot of cases. You can see if you go to any of the lawyer's office, you can see a bunch, and the shelves filled with lots of legal books and everything. Now all this can be compressed into a soft file, and an artificial system, when you have a case of a divorce, or if you have a case of a land dispute, if you have a case of a terrorism, if you have a case of money laundering, whatever it is, it will give you all piece of information within a span of shortest time. The best knowledge will throw. Then based on that, lawyers will save a lot of time to understand, and then from there they can take over the case. So this is where we're talking about a lot of automation and augmentation is possible in these areas. Now, largest jobs declines, right? Correct. In millions, right? They're talking about, correct? Minus 2.5 million, minus 5 million. So this much jobs are going to be lost in which areas? Top roles ordered by the largest net job reduction calculated based on the International Labour Occupation, right? International Labour Organization's occupation employment statistics. It's not a local status, it's an international statistics, where data entry clerks will be having a big loss in the job because it will be taken over or replaced by repetitive works, will be replaced by the automations or through augmentations. Administrative and executive secretaries, accounting, bookkeeping, security guards, building caretakers, cashiers, material recording, assembly and factory workers, telemarketers, shop salespersons. So you can see the list is going on and on. And you can see the biggest list. We as accountant and bookkeeping professionals are also on the top list of it, correct? And 5 new job roles are set to grow in this area, correct? I'm not talking about finance, accounting, whatever it is. I'm talking about within the area of artificial intelligence. There are 5 important areas. That is AI model and prompt engineers, interface and interaction designers, AI content creators, data curators and trainers, and finally the most important, ethics and governance specialists. Correct? We'll come to that. AI model and prompt engineers. These are the programmers who will create better algorithms. They'll create better algorithms. Interface and interaction designers. These roles are all about AI interaction. They will interface with completed and trained LLMs, preparing them for the role of assistants, correct? As AI assistants, tutors, or coach, how you interact and interface with the AI system, correct? AI content creators. I think a lot of the job is going to be there for us. Tomorrow, as finance person, the AI system cannot learn unless you as a finance expert will put some input to it. I'm an accounting expert, I put some input. Mr. Chithanan sir is a banking expert, you'll put some inputs to that. Miss Aditi is basically from auditing, for example, she'll put some input like that. Every knowledge spectrum from that people of their knowledge in the lifetime will be converted into a content, and that content has to be filled into that LLM system, which will learn and on. So be it finance, accounting, medical, law, engineering, all this data content has to be put that we need humans for that for some time, surely to input that. And how this knowledge will be continuously monitored, that is also we call them data curators and trainers. These include data quality and integrity, because the data what you put, there is something called garbage in, garbage out, so yeah, but artificial systems are not going to just have the garbage in, but they can process the garbage into a better thing because they have deep learning systems into them. So that is going to have a transformative change in the way garbage in and garbage out is going to come. It's not going to be garbage in and garbage out anymore, but the garbage still might be there. So we need to understand how to do data curation and training for that. And we find the most important thing is that ethics. I give more importance to that because as human societies, when we started living together, we formed rules, regulations, some system of morality, so that for the benefit of each and every one, we create a governance and an ethics system. Similarly, now humans have created machines. Machines did not have their own way of thinking, so there is no need for an ethics that should be put for a machine. But a machine becomes similar to that of human, then it needs an ethical system, correct? Am I correct? Can I have a yes, no?
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Absolutely right.
So exactly, when humans as a system need an ethical and a governance system, when humans create a similar human system like robots, humanoids, they will have their own emotions. They should not just go and do something wrong. For them also there should be. So there is a system for AI governance, and also AI systems itself should have an ethics. So this is called ethics and governance specialist. I think most of the subject matter experts who works in Profession 3 as AI content creators can also become ethics governance specialist inputs. So these are all the 5 most important jobs that will evolve in the next generations to come. These experts will test the models to ensure that models are not biased, unethical, or harmful. Right? So this is what we talked about till now. So this is the first part of my session where we understood what is the impact of AI in the economy, globally, in the Indian subcontinent, in our lives, in our jobs, in our verticals, in our sectors, how widespread, how all pervasive it is. It has not left any field, and how unique this technology is. This is what we understood, right? Now we'll get into the next part of the session, is the role of AI in our field, right? And lastly, this third section would be the ethics in and around the AI system and automations. So this is how I've spread. So I've just finished my first part of the session where giving a very good introduction and a deep understanding of what is artificial intelligence. Now let's dwell into the next topic of the second part of this slide session, is that, or the webinar session, is that the role of AI in accounting, right? Do you think that accounting is immune to these systems? No, already I've shown you a lot of statistics globally, how we are also in the top list of disruption because of these AI systems, correct? Let's get into that. So I've split into AI in accounting and AI in finance, correct? That we'll talk about. Accountants apply the technical knowledge about accounting and finance to help business for basically for what decision making. We as accountants are there to add wealth to the organizations. Correct or not, sir? Correct or not, madam? No, correct or not, my friends?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly. We want to add. For that, we need to take better decisions. Correct. We create the P&L. We create the balance sheet to see what is P&L. We all know. Correct. It's a profit and loss. What is balance sheet? Sometimes even most of the finance people doesn't answer it. Sir, balance sheet means assets, liabilities. We need to tally it. No. In simple words, take it from me, my friends. Balance sheet is a statement of wealth. Businessman, every one of you, even a school going kid will understand what is a profit and loss account, but it is not that easy for people to understand what is balance sheet. It is only we accountants went and told to the businessman, it is not the P&L, my friend, that is enough. It is also important to have a balance sheet. And a businessman who is not into accounting will ask you, why the hell I should have a balance sheet? We need to explain him. While P&L shows you the performance of a particular period, balance sheet shows your net wealth. That's what we call net worth. How much you are accumulated till now. Correct or not? That is your net savings. So balance sheet is a net wealth statement. So we prepare all this thing because we want to maximize the wealth for an organization in a positive, in a legal, ethical way, correct or not? So how do you do that? By taking better decisions, and nothing to talk about cost and management accountants or CMAs here. Behind every great successful decision made, we as CMAs are there. Am I correct? That's one of our motto. That is one of our tagline. So to make better decisions, we as accountants do a lot of work. But to do that work, we use a lot of technologies. Even debit and credit, the system of double entry is one of the greatest technologies that was invented to have a proper accounting systems. Am I correct or not? Correct. So we transformed ourselves from single accounting system to Arthashastra's book. Kautilya talks about accounting system way back, even 2000, 3000 years back. But the scientific system of double entry system has transformed the way business has been adding value in decision making to the top management and to the business leaders. But when we use a lot of technology, now we are going to also embrace a new technology called artificial intelligence. Correct? We used computers. First of all, we had logbooks. I'm sure, Mr. Chitranand sir, during your time of accounting auditors, or you would have audited and checked, and there are people senior to me when we went for audits. There are people who are not even using calculators. They can just add one page of ledger just like that. And that was looked at a great technology. Then people are fast in adding through calculators were looked at great technology people. Then came the Excel. Then before Excel, it came the spreadsheet. We call them as the spreadsheets before the Excel, correct? We had database systems. All this came, and finally we had the ERP system. And from ERP system, we became more into what we call the next generation of ERM system, integrate with risk, integrate with strategy, budgets getting integrated. So all these integrations happen to ERP. But from that, we talked about data decision making, data decision support. Now we are using computers. Now CEOs and CFOs will not have anymore much of the people working under them. They will have one or few systems which is working and consolidated by a great machine like artificial intelligence, and that will give inputs as a decision support to the CFO who will go and support the CEO. Correct or not? So this is what the transformation that is happening. So accountants have been deploying technology for many years and better advice to give better decisions. Correct? Now technology can help them do this by solving three broad problems, providing better and cheaper data to support decision making. So whatever technology, we have to embrace it. But for what? That will better our processing and also make it cheaper, and it will make great for decision support and timely, accurate, generating new insights from the analysis of data. For example, we all used to work for our bosses, right? I had my CFO. When I go with an analysis, maximum I'll go with 5, 10 analysis. We call them, I used to put them as a BMW model, right? The best analysis, the worst case scenario, and the moderate, or I would say the most likely scenario. So from the three, we will again make a permutation combination another three. One time I made a business case analysis for one of a project, 9 different analyses. If the sales would be this one, these all we call them as if what if analysis or scenario analysis. But as humans, we are also limited to make analysis or scenarios beyond a limit. But if you put this data into an artificial system, it can give you thousands and thousands of varieties of sensitivity analysis. But you may be wondering how this thousands of analysis can be understood again. It will again support you by making all this thousand analysis to compress into a way where it can really help you to make decisions very fast. and very compressed in a way that it will really give you a lot of knowledge in a short span of time. Means you will really understand huge data with least possible time. And that is not humanly possible at all, correct or not? So this is what we're talking about, freeing up of time to focus on more valuable tasks. Now here, I want to talk about something called the flipping of the triangle. Can you get me? Flipping of the triangle. What is flipping of the triangle? Normally, if you look at in the management books, the triangle is like this, where you will have the lower level called the operational people, then we have the tactical people, then we have the strategic people, which means at the lower level, the base is very high in the triangle, where a lot number of people at the operational levels will be working in factories and everything, and thousands of people. Like then we have managers, like we'll have 10, 15, 20 managers. That's a lower level or mid level. Then we have the highest level, which is the top of the pyramid, where only few people like CEOs and CFOs will, and the C level will work. Correct? Correct, Mr. Chidanan. So this is what we saw in the pyramid, yes. Right? Now you will see because of the technology disruption, this pyramid will flip, which means at the lower level, you will see repetitive tasks of the factories and the operational people will be replaced by machines of AI systems and other artificial system, which means we need less people there. And the middle will be more or less not that disturbed, but it will be still having some changes there. But the most change will be on the upper part, where you will have a lot of strategic people. We want a lot of strategic people there. So means your skill set should move from the normal operational level to the highest thinking level, so that even the artificial system, when it works with you as humanoids, gives you inputs, you should be able to understand that. So the need for shifting the career from the lower operational level to the highest level, I will tell you, I'm going to talk about that in the next slides, where a lot of work is going to be replaced in the accounting system, specifically by machine learning, correct? So this very nature of machine learning techniques lend themselves to substantial improvements across all areas of accounting and can equip accountants with powerful new capabilities, as well as automate many task conditions. When I say automation going to take out the jobs from the low level, do not be afraid. See, we cannot be the same humans as we were before. We cannot use the same solution to solve a new problem. Am I correct? New problems require new solutions. New problem requires innovative ideas. When innovative technologies comes in, you as humans also have to evolve with that, because the most evolving is the creation as humans we are, right? So it is not the most strongest species that will survive. What is the species that will survive? Any idea? The species that is most transformative, the species that is very dynamic, correct? The species that is very embracing the new technology, that is only will survive, correct or not? Correct. So we need to be of that species where we need to be all embracing, all changing at a very great speed, so that we become relevant in the market, we become relevant in the society, we become relevant in the ecological systems, correct? Now let me talk about how the role of AI in accounting and analytics is going to get a big impact. So robots will be new generation accountants. Robots will be new generation accountants. What I mean by that is that I'll take each one of these and explain. Each one of them itself can be a big webinar on itself. We can give a webinar only on RPAs, but giving the constraint of time, I will touch upon on a very high level on all these things. RPAs, which is called robotic process automations. What is robotic process automations? Repetitive works like, now I'll give an example to a lot of participants here. Ms. Aditi, we have a lot of student participants across India, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And sir, even though we teach them how to do debit and credit, books of subsidiary books of entries, then we post them to ledgers. From ledger, it comes to trial balance. From trial balance, it is getting adjusted. We have adjusted trial balance, then we have profit and loss account and balance sheet. Believe me, these are already automated by ERP systems. There are people who come and work under me nowadays. They do not even know what is a journal entry setup, because journal entries automatically happen. Am I correct or not? People who have used the Oracle system, people who have used SAP system, people who have used other what you call as legacy systems of ERPs, they know you just book an invoice at the time of GRN, it says debit that expense and credit accounts payable. Yes. Correct. So where is the knowledge of this accounting? This accounting knowledges of debit and credits are already, journal entries are already. My days, if I'm not able to tell I finished my schooling almost 28 years back in 1992. I finished my grade 12 with commerce and accounting, where I got a school first in economics, and I missed my state rank only by 2 marks in economics. Those days, if you are not able to tell the journal entry, it's like a crime.
Yes.
I think everybody would be able to connect to that nuanced thoughts. Correct, sir? Chitran sir and others all sitting here. You should be like how journal entries are like additions and subtractions of the mathematics. If you do error in addition and subtraction, you will be kicked out of the class. Similarly, if you are not able to tell the accounting entry for consignment accounts, for partnership accounts, for companies accounts, for shareholding accounts, for hire purchase accounting, you will be looked as a dumb in accounting if you do not know journal entries. Am I correct or not? But now, if you do not know this, it's still enough. That is how the world has transformed. These are embedded already into the ERP system. That doesn't mean you will not study debit and credit. Please do not misunderstand. Who created the ERP system? It's the humans. Who will also create the AI system? Is the humans. It is the humans always will be on the top of the AI. And it is going to learn, but still it will be learning also from humans inputs. If the humans will not have the basic knowledge of debit and credits, they will be then ruled by the robots. They'll be ruled by the humanoid. So, hey human, hey fellow human, fellow cost accountant, fellow management accountant, hey friends here, a big call from me as a fellow accounting fraternity. Please learn this foundation strongly. When you learn the foundation strongly, I'm here to say one statement without any hesitation. Whatever AI will come, even robotics will come and replace the professors in the colleges in future, but no humans as students can get rid of the debit and credit knowledge, can get rid about the cost accounting knowledge and the basics of what is absorption costing, what is variable costing, what is fixed and variable. All this concept are to be learned throughout your life anyway, because later on when machines will come and tell you without this knowledge how you're going to apprehend, comprehend and make decisions out of it. So these knowledges are there to stay forever, but the way it will be delivered, the day will be communicated will be transformed. But the knowledge is going to be required for anybody as you and me as accountants and finance fraternities. Now, because of RPAs, there is something called book to record. What I say book to record is B2R is that once you scan, you don't even have to input the invoices. Scan the invoices, purchase or sales invoice or other bills and vouchers, which call documentary evidence. We call them as these documentary evidence will automatically translate into journal entries, books of original entries, books of subsidiary books. It will change to the it will automatically post to the ledgers like general ledger, accounts payable ledger. You call them as accounts receivable ledger, fixed asset ledger, HR ledger. All it will automatically post. From there, it will post and take it to the trial balance. From trial balance, it will automatically reconcile. Bank reconciliation will be automatically done because it will automatically download the statements from the bank. On that, it will compare the bank ledger, cash ledger or the bank ledger in the books with that of the bank statements automatically throughout the exceptions, and those expressions will be automatically communicated from the accounting system through chatbot system to the banks, and from them back they'll get clarity and they post the clarifications and reconcile. This is the way auto reconciliation is going to come with least intervention of humans, and those will automatically transfer into P&L from balance sheet and cash flow systems. Now, I'll tell you one thing, even ERP systems today we have, it can automatically throw P&Ls, but there are a lot of ERP system people use, it struggles still to throw balance sheet. So people prepare balance sheet manually. But there are very few system which throws also cash flow system using direct or indirect method. Mostly we report the indirect method. So in future, all this will be automatically thrown out, not by any entry. It is automatically from the so-called scanning of the document to the final level. It will be automatically taken. This is called booking to reporting. Now, when I talk about reporting involves IFRS reporting. We talk about sustainability reporting that has come in. We have cost accounting standards that has to be incorporated. CAS. We are very proud to be part of the Institute of Cost and Management Accountants. We are part of the ICMA Institute, where this is the only body in the world, correct me if I'm wrong, Chitran sir, which has published separate unique standards for cost accounting. Am I correct, sir?
Right. Right.
So that is the way we are. So these standards will also be incorporated into the system where cost accounting records, which needs to be audited as per the cost accounting audit systems, will also be recording book to record. Now, then integration of cost accounting records with the financial accounting records, and that reconciliation will also be done automatically. And don't think this is not happening. It is already started, my friends. Then it will throw automated financial statements, statement of changes in owner's equity, balance sheet, P&L, comprehensive P&Ls, consolidated P&Ls, consolidated balance sheets, statement of changes, owner's equity, cash flow statement, both the methods if you want, one for internal, one for external reporting, then creating the final set of annual reports, ratio analysis. You talk about What is the predictive analytics? We're going to talk about it. All will be thrown. So from book to reporting, the entire financial accounting process will be automated. Correct? And we talk about internal system lead to collect. So how you have the complete account receivable system from taking a lead from the customer, converting them into a quote into order into delivery into invoice into receipt into collection, blah, 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 automatic. We call them as L2C, lead to collect. P2P, most of you would be aware, procure to pay, right from the procurement till pay. Now, what happens is these are all automatically happening, but with some intervention as humans, but in future it will be replaced totally. Auto reconciliations, auto cost allocations, correct? We are always talking about allocations of common cost using various system, direct method, or we call them as a step down method. We talk about the activity based costing method, correct or not? Correct. RFID based fixed asset tracking. What is RFID? If we talk about assets that is scattered across the regions, sitting in one place, you can scan it through automation. It's called IoT system. We can track. You don't have to go physically and check the stock taking of fixed assets at the end of the year. You can real time control it. If one of the office guys taken and work from office with the office laptop, we know this office is sitting in this particular home. Right, to that level we can control it. Vendor registration to accounts payable management, IFRS, US GAAP, intelligent, and we talk about INDAS like Indian Accounting Standards reporting, integrated report. What is integrated reporting? How to integrate the traditional financial accounting reporting with the non-financial accounting reporting like sustainability reporting. Already sustainable reporting standards of S1 and S2 has been released. How to integrate both. People as investors are no more interested only in the financial aspect of the business. They want to know the ethical aspect of the business. They want to know the sustainability aspect of the business. They want to know the governance aspect of the business. Correct? So these are called integrated reporting, and this can be easily done with integration of artificial intelligence systems. Stay in policy, compliance, automated invoices, detect data anomalies, fraud detections, workflow automations, encumbrance accounting, and real-time budgetary control. What is that? I would just check with Mr. Chitranjan sir. Can you just clarify me one thing, sir? Still in our budgeting systems and the account in our curriculum, we teach budgeting as a plan, then we have actuals and there is a variance. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this knowledge is going to be taken out from the textbooks very soon, where we have something called real-time budgetary control, where we don't have to wait for the budget to be used and then we know it as overused or underused. Then we take a control over it because already the damage has happened. It's called reactive control mechanism. But the new system with the support of all this AI is nothing. We can have a real-time budgetary control. What I mean by that is when you already allocated a budget for a stationery for 10,000, the first PR goes, it will automatically say 10,000 is there. The PR is going for 2,000. Yes, budget is there, approve. But if the budget is not there, it is not going to approve. It's not that you close the books at the end of the month, then only you come to know, hey, the budget is already overutilized. No, the budget will be known in advance that the budget is not there, so that do not allow to use it or take special permission. This is called proactive control. This proactive real-time control is tagged as encumbrance accounting. You know, encumbrance, when we buy a land, we go and check that this land is already in somebody else's name or not, somebody else's name or not. So we check it is not encumbered, correct? So similarly, we need to check whether the budget is available or not. So that's called encumbrance accounting. Strategy integrated smart planning and budgeting. We integrate the budgeting with the strategy. Every aspect will be integrated to the vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Smart tax planning. We talk about tax planning. There is something called tax planning and there's something called tax avoidance, correct? We can avoid tax by proper planning, but we cannot evade tax. Evading tax is illegal. Avoiding or reducing the tax through tax planning is allowed, correct? So we can plan tax properly, but how many laws and regulations you have to read? We have to read the Income Tax of India Act. Then you have to study all the amendments. You have to study yearly publications. You have to study all the CBDT rules and regulations, correct? Do you think humanly it is possible for you to plan? So we go and sit with all the other accounting bodies and supporting fields to take some tax planning, but these systems can support you. But from that, it will give a juice of planning, then you can work on it. It is very much important, even corporate tax planning, when it has countries where the companies are spread across the globe. So we talk about tax planning, inter-country tax planning, correct or not? So we have to be very, very important in understanding how this technology can implement. When implemented, can have a robust impact on accounting. Now let's get into the next field called finance. as you all make understanding, accounting is different from finance, correct? We always mix accounting as one and the same. Under accounting, we have financial accounting, cost accounting, management accounting, but finance is something related closely networks, but finance is a separate field. We have corporate finance, we have personal finance, we have public finance, correct? Corporate finance, we study about where to get the funds, where to invest the funds, what to do with the dividend decisions, working capital management, capital budgeting, investment analysis. So all these are in finance, and there is a financial operation field called the finance sector, which includes banking sector, non-banking financial sectors. And we have Mr. Chitran sir, who is already in the BFSA board, can talk externally on the sector, correct? So how the role of AI is going to be in finance is what we're going to talk about. Artificial intelligence is in finance transforms the way people interact with money. AI helps the financial industry streamline and optimize the process ranging from credit decisions to quantitative trading and financial risk management. Now let's look at some statistic. This is done by, as a worldwide report in December 2020. AI in financial services. AI is being integrated in various aspects of financial services, including banking, insurance, and investment management, on corporate advisory systems. Also, banks are using AI to detect frauds, manage credit risk. For example, you can see when you talk about investing in across the globe in terms of stock markets or trade market, stock markets, you'll see a lot of risks. These risks can be well analyzed through an artificial system. A lot of predictive analytics. It's going to throw it to you well in advance based on economical, social, cultural, natural, ecological. Lot of factors have been inputted, which is humanly not possible to analyze it. So it will also improve customer service. Insurance companies are using AI to assess risk and price policies, correct? Because insurance works on a system called something. It's called actual science. I think you're all aware of it, right? Actual science. The actual science works on a lot of statistical data, correct? Otherwise, insurance companies will go for a big loss if they do not predict their models properly. So these artificial intelligence systems can help a lot in these areas in investment portfolios. How do you diversify risk? And you can see it has already been put to use in last 1 or 2 years back itself in product detection to 58%, financial process analysis 41, cybersecurity 33, personalization of products and services 33. What I mean by personalization of product and services, now that you get, I'll talk about two industry of personalization of product and services. If you talk about services, insurance is very personalized. Am I correct or not? But even today, it is not though so micro, what you call as or granularly focused on the personal level, because we still have one plan for all the people at that age group. But at that age group, people have different levels of income and different levels of health characteristics. So how to give a health insurance for the same age but different personalities? That level we can go with this AI system because data can be well analyzed. Customer care. When I talk about the personalization product, we talk about something called nanomedicine. Nanomedicine, correct? What is nanomedicine is basically we are now given medicines for any lifestyle disease. For example, for diabetics, they'll give you 250 mg or 50 mg of a diabetic medicine, correct? In that, you'll see people will need little higher dose, but people will also will need some lower dose. But unfortunately, the production is done only for 50 mg or 100 mg. Between somewhere 58 mg is not available, correct? So in our olden systems and across the globe, the medical practitioners in the old system, they'll come and make some kashaya or they make some local medicine, exactly give you that round to you or some quantity which is suiting to you. That is called micro or nanomedicine. But in the modern medical industry, it's not available. So what we are planning to have later on, you will analyze that human body system needs this much grams of this particular diabetic medicine, and that is already concocted and given to him. So this is what we're talking about. Personalization can be possible. Customer care, asset management, all these are affecting already these industries in finance. Now let's talk specifically on some of the financial areas of industries and verticals. A in investment management, right? So now A has a significant impact on investment management with hedge funds and asset managers increasingly using AI-powered algorithms. They use a lot of algorithms to understand the risk. These algorithms can process vast amount of international data in and out within 24 by 7, identify patterns and make predictions. This is called predictive analytics, which is humanly not possible. Correct. So that will help you in managing your risk and trying to diversify your portfolios. AI in trading, something called high frequency trading. How many of you have got this idea called how high frequency trading? It's called HFT. This HFT algorithm can execute trades in fractions of a second, taking advantage of small price discrepancy in the market. Hey, did you see the market price have just gone? Did you just drop? Did you buy? No, drop for half an hour and again went up, correct or not? But within that half an hour, you'll be busy. But you run a program automate within that half an hour, within the second moment of the fall in the price can be capitalized by the high frequency trading, which is not currently possible because of AI systems are not integrated. So AI powered algorithms can take advantage of the high frequency trading. High frequency algorithms can help you on that. AI in credit scoring, correct? Now lenders, there is a huge data statistics which talks about every year there is a lot of lending risk and lending losses, lending frauds happening because the data are not easily available. Data are available, but they're not well screened. To screen data, we need a lot of high-tech systems. So lenders can make a use of this accurate credit underwriting decisions, or advanced computer vision can be used with geospatial and aerial imagery for insurance and property undertaking as well. Now let's go to the role of AI in the corporate finance advisory. This clearly talks about in wide. It's a very clear idea about how AI is being used in the corporate or can be used in corporate advisory, be it strategic planning, origination, execution and financial modeling, financial operational due diligence, legal due diligence, completion of acquisition or investment growth, mergers and acquisitions, financial operation management, financial reporting, forecasting. And if you talk about corporate on the left side, the corporate finance advice as known as lead advisory from transaction services like buying side or selling side. You talk about debt advisory, you talk about capital markets, reorganization or restructuring, growth finance. You're talking about completion mechanisms. You talk about data analytics. On the right side, if you see private equity, buyouts, public company in terms of capital projects and infrastructure investment, real estate advisory and investment, operational due diligence, across the entire gamut of corporate financial advisory systems, including forensics and special tax services, you can use as AI systems. And most importantly, on the valuations, correct? Now, when I talk about valuations, you may wonder how AI can help. Sometime back, I talked about the IoT systems. I talked about the machine health. Now, to value the fixed assets or to value a business, there is a subcomponent of valuing the fixed assets, tangible assets, and valuing the intangibles, correct? Now, when you value the tangibles, you get a valuation report from an external valuating body. Now, this external valuating body will in future will also use AI IoT systems to see the real health of the machinery. And even for accounting to provide depreciations, we can use the revaluations using the real. The machine looks nice from outside, but whatever internal breakages happen, we cannot know. So the real health can be trajectorily connected to this particular valuation accounting system. So this is the level. And nothing to talk about ESG. And sure, in future, we are planning to give also one session. Note down, sir, Mr. Chitran, sir, I'm planning to give one on ESG, also one important topic soon, next year, maybe in the first quarter, we'll do. So that every aspects of ESG is also connected to the AI, which can help you to have a well integrated ESG management system for your organization. Now, the role of analytics, role of AI in analytics and decision support is very important. Because of the AI, you can see we have now come with a new concept of analysis getting into analytics. We as cost accountants, management accountants, chartered accountants, financial managers, as chartered financial analysts, we have been very much into analysis, but there is something called analytics. Analytics talks about from the past to the future. So, and there are 4 levels. Descriptive, you talks about the past, whatever it is. We need to know about the past, but knowing only the past will not help. From the knowing, you need to know, diagnose it to understand why this happened. Correct? What has happened is descriptive analytics. Why it has happened? Finding the reason is called diagnostic analysis or analytics. From that, we can predict the future or predict what will happen, which will help too much in our budgeting, forecasting, understanding the future of the business in the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. So predictive analytics are the most important boon of the robotic artificial intelligence systems. The AI systems really helps us a lot in the predictive analytics. It talks about what will happen. It doesn't stop with what is the problem in telling what will happen in future. Hey, you will have this problem in future. The business will have a failure in this year, but you need to find solutions also, right? That is called giving a prescription. That's called prescriptive analytics. So the entire gamut of descriptive, what has happened, why has happened, what will happen, and what to do for what will happen. that's called prescriptive. Everything is well connected, where lot of algorithms, lot of machine learning systems can help you to do that. Correct. So data analytics is one of the greatest science that has come in the market for last 2 decades roughly, and people are integrating that with the AI system to take more advantage of it. Now, having talked about AI in terms of accounting and finance, its impacts, I just want to talk about one of the important system called as the quantum financial system. Quantum financial system, which already I touched upon. See, this is a new thought, but it came some time back. It was actually thought about by a physicist called Stephen Winsnott. He talked about quantum money, which is now called as quantum financial system, creating a financial system in more detail than that of a traditional existing financial system. The existing financial system are somewhat at the macro level, but the quantum financial system will go to the micro granular cellular level of the finance across the globe, and that will give a lot of visibility and a lot of control. And this can be well managed, which is currently not happening much. So the quantum financial system represents a fusion of advanced technologies combining quantum computing and blockchain to create. So here I want to talk about blockchain a little bit. Blockchain is like a shared ledger system which is running across the globe, across the chains, where you can cross-refer, cross-verify, cross-contribute. You can cross-reconcile at any point of time. That's what blockchain and shared ledger is about. Correct? Now, shared ledger and blockchain systems connected with computing of quantum computing has created the concept of quantum financial system. It is not just about adopting a new cutting-edge technology. It's about reshaping the very foundation of the modern finance. In fact, this concept was implemented or thought about a long time back in 70s, but now is getting into shape. How that can help you? As of now, the global banking assets amounts to nearly $183 trillion, and the value of the worldwide stock market is estimated to be around $95 trillion, according to the global financial markets. Despite its size and significance, the current financial system is not without any shortcoming, because we do not have such supercomputing, quantum computing technology being used in these financial systems. Because of that, you see issues such as financial frauds costing $5 trillion annually. 5 trillion annually. These are some few economists put together GDP's value. Am I correct, sir? Chittaran, sir?
Yes, absolutely.
5 trillion is a very big value to be lost every year, not one time, every year. Because of what? Lack of technology, lack of implementation of technology, right? And these losses are going to be to the common man, like you and me, right? So we need to understand how technology can really overcome this, and quantum financial system in itself is a great field of, there are two fields of finance which I thought of sharing knowledge with you later on as a seminar or a webinar. One is called QFS, Quantum Financial System, and something called transaction financing. These two topics will be coming soon. We'll work with your team, and for the benefit of the students fraternity, we will talk about. But for the short time constraints now, we will just talk about why this quantum financial system is very important and how technology can integrate to that and take great advantage. So quantum algorithms could bring about a new era of financial security. As I told you in some slides back, quantum finance systems will trace to every one pie you spend in the market by everybody in the market. That's the level of security it can come, correct? So quantum encryption or quantum key distribution could offer unbreakable security protocols, making financial transactions and data more secure than ever before. And such systems are required for the global system of banking and finance systems to manage these whopping losses being not incurred in future, and whopping this number is going to only increase. 180 trillion is going to only increase. It's not going to decrease, correct? So this is why we talk about how important is these systems for accounting and finance. Now let's talk about some basic advantages this AI system is bringing, but we're not going to talk only about the advantages. There is also some challenges, and how to overcome the challenges, what we're going to talk in the third session using the ethical models. AI in accounting and finance advantages. It improves efficiency, it increases accuracy, personalized services, enhanced data analysis and decision making. This has all been summarized now, but talked in detail in the previous slides. And most importantly, in terms of risk management reduction, it gives a lot of support. This will decrease your cost, increase your profits, increase efficiency, increase your market share. You can keep talking about it, correct? Let's talk about advantages and some specific points. Enhanced decision making, as we already know, using the predictive analytics can really improve the human way of thinking, and the limitations of human decision making can be overcome by collective understanding with the most rapid, most robust predictive analytics models of the AI system. Streamlining the operations and automations. Now you will see that a person living in Australia, a person living in Bihar, a person living in South America and Brazil. For example, Brazil is said to be the sugar bowl of the world, where they will have hectares and hectares of land of sugarcane. Do you think humanly it is possible to control every sugarcane dripping water? No. Use automations. Correct. Streamlining your operations, factories, supply chains, factory operations, port operations, hospital operations. Correct. During the COVID, we all saw the huge rise in the patients coming, and India did a great job. But despite that, we cannot afford to have one more such situation. So we need to have even such great claustrophobic pandemic comes in, how to manage that automations and operations. So when you use this automations and the streamline with all the systems, it can do it so faster, and it can support humans very well. It can also support in fraud detection, regulatory compliance. Correct. Now let's talk about regulatory compliance. Correct. Now I've been living in Dubai and UAE for last 22 years. You cannot escape from any of the single fines in the market. So if you cross the limits, automatically camera captures it. It goes, and while you're going to renew your mulkiya, we call them as the car license, automatically you have to pay the fees. Any fines you have been pending in anything, when you exit from the country and cancel a visa and get out of the country, in the immigration you have to pay everything and go. So compliance is there. You cannot escape. Correct. So this is how freeing up the human resources for 4 strategic initiatives can be done. Robo advisors. We talked a lot, sir. Anymore, we will not have robo advisors. Are not only in finance. We'll have robo financial advisors, robo medical advisors, robo science advisors, robo teaching advisors, robo. I'm sorry to say, maybe robo ministers we'll have in future. Maybe in another 20 years we'll have a separate in our parliaments where we have the lower and the upper, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. We'll have some small share. We are the first ever country to share a lot also with the equity and diversity, where there is equal or a good share is also given as a percentage for the female and the women. We are very proud about it. Maybe in future we'll be having, along with the male and female who's participating as the advisory body to the government in terms of decision making and lower and upper parliaments, where Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, you may even have sometimes a small segment along with the humans of females and males, some robot systems, humanoids will also be given as chair. Who knows? They can be advisors in committees, in ministries. Believe me, my friends, this is not a joke. This is going to come very soon. So what we need to learn as humans, not only to live with co-humans, we need to know how to live with co-humanoids. In factories, we'll not only have humans, we'll have human factory, I've called as humanoid workers. So school curriculums, professional curriculums have to enhance them in having an emotional intelligence of not only we need to teach our youngsters and future leaders how to emotionally not only go ahead and deal with your co-humans, you should also know how to work with the co-humanoids and how to understand the co-robo advisors. Now in future, CFO will have one robo with him as a robo advisor. You listen to everybody, but you'll also listen to the robo advisors and take a collective decision. Nothing to talk about fraud and detection. You can do lot. As already told, in financial institutions, you can prevent losses through quantum computing. Predictive analytics, we talk predictive analytics can be used for credit scoring, risk management, market forecasting, among other applications. I'm talking in finance. It can be applied in areas, other fields also. Natural language processing, NLP, we call them as natural language processing, is a technology that enables computers to understand and interpret human languages. You can talk to a computer in Chinese and it will reply to you in English if you want. You talk to them in English, it can translate to you in Arabic, like you have a Google translation, but it is not a verbal, it will talk. It can use slangs. It can have dialects. India has more than 120, officially we have 120 plus languages. How many dialects, sir? Correct. If I pass through the Bengal, in Calcutta, they speak one version of Bengali. Maybe if I go to the other part, it will be different. If I go to Delhi, I hear one part of Hindi. If I go to Bombay, other part of a part of the world, I hear another language version of Hindi. If you come to Tamil Nadu, you will have 15 versions of dialects of Tamil. So what I'm saying is all this will be cognitively understood and replied by a natural learning process system. Right. So that's why when you travel in future, you don't have to learn languages. Learning new languages has become a great skill, but learning how to translate and technologies have become a new language now. So these systems, tomorrow you'll have it in mobile. Already you might have it. You say something in your mobile. If you travel to China and you do not know Chinese, you tell it in English, you translate and it talks, correct? So this is what, but more importantly, these natural learning process technologies will also understand the emotional part. That is also very important. That is where the humanoids and the artificial systems are going into. It's going to go from robots to humanoids. Sentiment analysis can provide valuable insights into the market trends and help investors make informed decisions. There is a field of finance called emotional finance, or we call them as the behavioral finance. Am I correct, sir? Behavioral finance, correct?
Yes.
What is behavioral finance? I have a piece of gold jewelry in my home. If there is a big problem comes, I still don't want to sell the gold jewelry because I'm attached to that. Technically, rationally, financially, it tells I should sell it, but I may not sell it because we attach emotions to that. That is called behavioral finance. So these behavioral aspects also be included as a decision-making support system in taking any of the financial decisions also using the natural learning process. Improved customer experience. We can give personalized customer experience based on each individual preferences. Nowadays, we get customers only as class. We have high net HNIs, high net worth individuals will get different. But within the high net worth individuals, we have different individuals. We can have personalized services. So we can have tailored and responsive service for each and every individual, what you call as customers. That is not possible before. We put them in different status. We cluster them. But within the clusters, still we can go granular level. New product development. AI can facilitate the development of innovative financial products and services identified in the new markets of the market opportunities. This can lead to creation of more relevant and targeted offerings, ultimately driving growth and revenue for the financial institutions. Correct? Algorithmic trading. What is algorithmic trading? Also known as black box trading. What is it called? Black box trading involves using AI algorithms to execute trades automatically based on the predefined rules. So what we do? Do any of you drive automated? Not automated, like putting the drive on automation mode. Here in UAE, we use a lot when you can set a kilometer at 80 kilometers and it will be going at the same speed till you interfere. Similarly, you can create an algorithm for stock trading. You don't have to sit 24/7 in front of the stock totals. You set the rules. If it falls below this, sell it. If it goes above that, sell it. If you falls below that, buy it. If it falls above that, buy it. You can predetermine it or you can put ranges. All these rules, if and buts can be put. Algorithmic trading can automatically happen, relieving a lot of stress for the traders. And also, algorithmic trading has become increasingly popular among hedge funds and financial institutions as it can provide high returns and reduce human errors. Correct? Virtual assistants and chatbots. Already you might have aware of chatbots. In every organization, chatbots has been replacing the customer services where they come and work with you, they talk to you. Even I think our institutes is having chatbot systems where you can just get into them and say when I can register for exams. So all these things are happening across institutions. These tools are use natural learning process and machine learning algorithms to understand customer queries and provide personalized financial services. Correct? Risk management and compliance, AI can assist in ensuring regulatory compliance by automating and monitoring and reporting process, reducing the risk for a company for non-compliance. Non-compliance risk and penalties for organizations are highly costly. Let it be environmental non-compliance or legal non-compliance, right? Or standards non-compliance. We do not adopt the standards of ISO. Maybe the next year the certificate will not be renewed. The standards will not be renewed for you, correct? So automation of that can also help you in risk and compliance. Talent acquisition and retention, correct? The way financial institutions attract, develop, and retain talent can be well managed by the data-driven insights and predictive analytics. This can include identifying skill gaps, also giving them training and making the optimized returns from this work abilities from this particular recruited employees and increasing their abilities through proper training and timely training, which is well predicted through the technologies of AI, which tells them this is what they lack and we need to do to them. Having talked about all this and AIs, this doesn't come without challenge, correct? There is always two sides of the same coin, correct, sir? Correct. So,
Right.
so now let's look at in short, what are the challenges and considerations in adopting AI in finance? Then we'll talk about in the coming slides, what are the big challenges of AI and how to overcome them. When you talk about challenges, the most important thing is data privacy and security concerns. When everything is done by AI, who will control the AI? That is a big concern. I mean. Regulatory and legal implications. Now the problem is lot of ChatGPT and all these are coming called generative AIs are all coming, but the problem is how to regulate it. Regulatory bodies across the globe are still struggling how to regulate it because the reason is the gap between the technology transformation, which is highly disruptive, and the legal systems to cope up to that is very, very big. The gap is big. The legal systems are still struggling to cope up to control the generative AIs or other AI system because there is already in the market, which is also creating some chaos, sometimes a negative disruption and concerns and causes for the public. So how to regulate them is also a challenge. Bias and discrimination. If the codes are biased and written, it is again garbage in, garbage out. The systems of AI will also work in a biased way. And who will take, if any wrong decisions are taken by humanoids or robots, who will take the responsibility and accountability? Regulatory compliance, intellectual property rights. Who is the owner of that? If artificial intelligence is created by me, I have a ownership. But if artificial intelligence will create a new intelligence knowledge, who is the owner of that? And that art system is creating a new, not only from the creator, from many people's inputs. So who is the real owner of it? When we do not know the real owner, how to create a property right for that? And if there is no clear owner sometime, who is going to be punishing for the wrong impacts of that? Who's to be penalized? What is about the transparency and explainability? So these are all the various concerns in short. And the most important thing we talk about is a very operational level called black box effect. The results of intelligence algorithms are opaque and not verifiable. They deliver statistical truths, meaning that they can be wrong on individual cases. It's at gross okay, but not on individual cases. The results could have a hidden bias, as we told in the above cases, difficult to identify. The diagnosing and correction of these algorithms also very complex. And the most important thing is the people who created the algorithm themselves are not able to tell after some time how the algorithm will work. To what extent it will become permanent and common. See, if you have your own son who's brought up by you, to some extent you can predict how your son will behave. But after some time, you also do not have a full understanding how your son will behave in a particular situation. If so is with the case with a mother and a son, what would be a case about an inanimate thing like an algorithm, which can be very complex and how it's going to behave? It's not easily understandable. And when we do not able to understand the complexity of its behavior, it becomes very risky, which needs to be taken into consideration. The fact there is no explanation as to why the algorithm provide a positive or a negative answer to show to a specific question can be disturbing for a banker's rational mind. This is often a blocking point for the use of AI in trading also, but we need to overcome that. Let's see how it is. Now, this is my last part of the session. Having talked about what is AI, having talked about how AI is impacting accounting and finance, the last segment is going to be dedicated to talk about how do you think this ethics has to be adopted. In adopting, what are the challenges and why this challenge should be overcome, how to overcome it, and how it can be overcome is only by two ways. One is by ethics and by regulation. So we're going to talk about both on this. Before that, let's talk about ethics. Correct? As we talk about ethics, it's very, very important that ethics has to be also be informed for an artificial system. It should have it. But how do you bring it? But before that, let's talk about ethics. Ethics is a philosophical discipline concerned with what is morally good and bad and morally right and wrong. Correct? Is what? For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. That's what Aristotle says. Aristotle ethics was to practical ethics. He didn't believe in theoretical ethics. He believed in practical ethics. Do the right thing because it is right. Immanuel Kant, one of the great theorists, said there is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, that is ignorance. That's what Socrates says. So everybody has to understand what is ethics. Ethics comes up out of the concept of honesty, fairness, objectivity, responsibility, competence, confidentiality, integrity, and credibility. Now, the most distributed technology is having a concept of how to integrate the ethics to it. And as AI systems learn from data in addition to program rules, unanticipated situations that the system has not been trained to handle in human-machine interactions can lead to AI system display unexpected behaviors. This is a concern. AI applications can also generate unexpected and unintended consequences and pose new forms of risk. The autonomous nature of AI system presents issues around the potential loss of human autonomy and control over decision making. Responsibility and liability for harms resulting from the use of AI applications are still ambiguous. Managing the scale and speed of AI adoption and their attendant risk is becoming an increasingly central task for governments. To enhance the benefit of AI while minimizing the adverse risk, we need a good governance. Correct? There is a need to reassess the efficiency or efficacy of the traditional governance systems. Now, regulating the AIs, people who are saying that we shouldn't regulate, they say because it will curtail innovation, it is complex to implement, potential for over-regulation. But people would say we need to go for regulation. They say ensuring ethical use of artificial intelligence is very much important. Safeguarding human rights and safety is very important because it cannot be tarnished by the so-called AI overwhelmingly adopted. Correct? Or mitigating the social and economic impact. So that is also very important. So for all this thing, we say that governance is important. As AI systems develop and increase in complexity, their risk and interconnectivity is very complex. So there need to be a broader global governance for AI. So when you talk about global governance, okay, let me take to the global governance challenges. What are the challenges? As you said, it's very complex. The machine learning systems are so complex. Putting a governance also is a challenging thing. But nevertheless, there has been a lot of international standards and regulations came on this field. Internationally, California Consumer Privacy Act, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, General Personal Data, LGPD in Brazil, Personal Data Protection, PDPA Singapore, and there's a lot of in China and everywhere do not track legislation in US. All has come in EU Data Act, Data Governance Act, Digital Markets Act, Digital Service Act, Privacy and Electronic Communication Directive 2002, ISO 20022, ISO 24143, all these standards, everything collectively talk about how to regulate the governance. Also in US, you can see the Algorithmic Accountability Act in 2022, in Canada Artificial Intelligence Act, ADA, correct? Also in Japan, they brought in a lot of regulations coming in, and it is on two things: regulating on AI and regulating for AI. What is the difference? Regulations to manage risk associated with AI and regulatory reform to promote the implementation of it, right? And in the Indian context, as I talked about the Ministry of Electronics Information Technology under the India AI 23 auspicious, they brought in this concept of AI governance, 6 pillars: AI in governance, AI compute and systems, data for AI IP and innovation, skilling in AI, very important. You should know how to use it. It should be in the right hands. And most importantly, how do you govern the ethics? That's the most important. And that's what we're talking about. We need to have proper AI ethics and governance. And a lot of piece of work is going on. And you'll see as AI users, as AI implementers, you need to also study ethics of the AI and ethics for the AI, right? So now I just want to finish the last few slides, as we are almost touching the last 5 minutes. Another 4-5 minutes, I'm going to wind up the session. Here, I just want to put a question. The first ever country that was recently agreed to implement the AI Act. Still now, no country has implemented an act for AI. But there is one country that has come out. Any idea? It's USA, it's India, China, EU, Australia. Okay, I'll answer for you. The European Union is the first ever nation that has come out as a specific piece of AI Act, which is going to be soon implemented. And that has happened just this month, in the 8th December 2023, agreeing to one of the world's first major comprehensive artificial laws. The AI Act is considered the greatest piece of work where the whole European Union has come in and considered to be, which is considered to be a clear threat to the human society, will be banned. So with the potential agreement, the European Union moves towards becoming the first major world power to enact laws governing AI. Friday's deal, that was on Friday, 8th December 23, deal between the European Union countries and European Parliament members came after 15 hours of negotiation that followed by 24 hours of debates per the previous day. So they have collectively put more than 39-40 hours to bring this act, and it will come and impact somewhere in 2025. So what are the impact of it? Rules on high impact general purpose AI models, a revised system of governance for at the UE level. Any fundamental rights impact will be assessed. AI posing unacceptable levels of risk will be banned. High risk AI systems relating to law enforcement education will be assessed before being put to use. Limited risk AI systems will need to comply. Right? So the accord requires foundation models such as ChatGPT and general purpose AI, GPAI, to comply with transparency obligations they've brought in. Governments can only use real-time biometric surveillance in public spaces in case of victims of certain crimes. You cannot just use just like that. Consumers would have the right to launch complaints and receive meaningful explanations, while fines for violations would range from 7.5 million euros or 1.5% of the turnover to up to 35 million euros or 7% of the global turnover. This is very, very strong law, which means, thank God, finally we have an act which most of the other countries might also take some understanding and embrace and bring some new laws in their own country, including our great India, so that the users of the AIs are protected and the implementers of the AI are protected. The whole ecosystem is protected. And this is what the risk pyramid they're talking about. If you have a low minimal risk, no obligations for reporting or control. Limited risk, there should be transparency. High risk, regulated. High risk, it will be highly regulated. And any unacceptable risk will be totally banned, prohibited from all users from the AI systems. So this is what we are talking about, unacceptable risk in detail. This is what high risk, like biometric identification, categorization of natural persons, management and operation of critical infrastructure, law enforcement, migration, asylum. These all be highly monitored. Limited risk and low risk will be little bit has to be only complied, but low or minimal risk, there is no need for any obligations. With this, I really come to the end of this session, where it was a great opportunity for me to share my humble knowledge to the great fraternity of CMA members, CMA students, CMA professionals, and other great professionals, the Center Council members, Mr. Chittaranjan sir, who is heading the BFSI, and my close friend, Ms. Aditi ma'am, the president, the vice president of the great institute, all of them, I again salute and thank for the great opportunity given to me. We will surely see you all in yet another session. Over to you, Ms. Aditi.
Yeah, sir, there are a few questions. Dr. Ranjit Krishnan has asked that in conclusion, can you please throw some light on the role of technology in ensuring sustainability?
Okay, now role of technology in sustainability, I want to talk a little bit is that there is something called transition financing. Before that, there is something called standard assets. Let me give you an example. When we talk about Euro compliant cars, all the cars which were manufactured before, which is giving an emission beyond limit, they are not supposed to be used in the cars, right? But these components of the car are coming from a machines which is there in a factory. Now the factory has to change the whole machine to suit to produce this new compliant, correct or not? So that
Yes.
asset, even though it is only 10 years, it has another 30 years to go. It is called as standard assets because legally or standard wise that is not allowed to be used, correct? So this needs a new financing. This is called transition financing. Now this is in line with the ESG. Now to do this, how much of the asset is stranded? What is the life cycle? What is machine can be transformed into a usable compliance oriented machine? All these things can be done only by data analytics, which needs a lot of AI system. Now, when you talk about implementing a new system, because you have a new factory, these all will be in line with sustainability. When you're talking about lesser humans in the factory, with more of IoT, which means less travel from your place to factory, less fuel usage. This is less public transport usage, correct? Less emissions. Think about a whole factory is controlled from home. 80% of the people sit at home and control the factory. Where is the point of moving in the public transport and creating a carbon emission? Correct? For all this thing, the technology of AI should support. So AI is in very cognizant with, AI is in very cohesion with that of this called sustainability. In fact, to reach sustainability, we cannot do unless we have data science, unless we have artificial intelligence support system to support.
Right.
Another question, sir. Mr. Sunil has asked that while we were discussing about the employment data, he asked that what will CMS do with their current curriculum and training?
Okay, it's a very interesting question and a very intriguing question. I'm very interested always in keeping the syllabus of any curriculum of any fraternity very live. But as an academician also, I've been spending for last 20 years also in academics, and you could see my profile. I spend more time on that. I always see there is a gap between the theory and practice. There was a time where the practice was low and theory was very conceptually high. For example, atomic theories, before it came into practice, atomic was in theory, correct or not? But now what has happened? Theory is sitting here and the practice has gone far, especially in the IT technology. We have to learn from the practice and then only we have to inculcate in our curriculum. But this is how it is going. But what we can do is we can thin the gap. We can thin the gap. So at least in the technology forum, technology level, we need to keep changing every 1 year our curriculum. Means we talk about ChatGPT, we talk about generative AI, but do you have that in our curriculum? Yes, we have it, but to what extent? So we need to, instead of putting my idea is this one, just also to tell to the fraternity years, instead of putting it to the mainstream and making that as a pass and failure of certification, you put them as an additional program to get the final CMS certificate so that they can undergo a program. And that program should be very robust. Because you put them in the main curriculum, it will be very difficult to touch the curriculum every 6 months. But if you put them as an additional compliance of IT program to get a certification before you finish your final and get the certification, you can have after finishing the final, before you get the certificate, you need to undergo a 2 months of certificate program on this, and that program has to be robust. So this is how I see the connector.
Sir, another question, the last questions over here. So, Mr. CMACS BK Unhelkar has asked that it would be great, sir, if you can throw some light on the recent New Delhi resolution adopted by 29 nations in GPAI. There's a global partnership on artificial intelligence.
As I told you in the slides, they're talking about the 6 pillars, right? Correct? 6 pillars, and very important. This 29 nations participating has already shown us that India is one of the leaders in that. Correct? Correct. So we already hosted G20, and we also hosting this, which means we are one nation. Nobody can be ignored at any point of time in any aspect, especially in the technology aspect. Correct or not? This is a showcase of that, which means we have a bigger responsibility also. Correct. So this responsibility has been taken by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who under his vision has brought this ministry concept of India AI. And it has been seriously taken in his portfolio in his ministry level. So we can see that this is very important task that has been taken. But now they also came, and I always urge our participants to go and look at this website, where even I did a lot of reading, a lot of articles have been published into it. And to summarize, it is very seriously taken at the country level, at the international level, and they already come with 6 pillars, which I already showed you. And one of the important pillar is ethics and governance, which means soon you can see out of this, you'll get a piece of legislation from India as strong like that of UAE Act, or even better than that. This is what I'm expecting. Correct? So you're talking about a contribution of $400 to $500 billion to Indian GDP, and it's not a joke to keep it like that. So our leadership is very proactive on that, very proactive on that, and they will not leave any stone unmoved to get this thing done. So, and we are here to watch that. We are here to see that. We are here to participate in that. So as cost accounting body, we need to also work with these ministries to see how we can contribute to the standards. We are already professionals. We have our professional ethics. They will want to know how professional cost accounting ethics needs to be integrated in the AA system of ethics. How professional financial accounting, they may work with the Institute of Chartered Accountants, they may work with the Institute of Cost Accountants, they may work with the Institute of Company Secretaries, they will work with all these institutes. So our institute leadership also should go and participate and voluntarily tell ethics is one of the component of the pillars, and we are very happy to contribute this subject matter expertise from our side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this mind-boggling and exhaustive presentation. Now I would request our chairman, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, for his final address.
Thank you, Mr.
It's
Over to you, sir.
really, I was mesmerized. Actually, I couldn't. This is the first time, perhaps, in my life in this year itself. On 30th December, I could not move from chair. I was simply because the in the this system of online, people mute and people just mute is video and video is audio, mute is audio and just chat. But here I am telling you, assuring you, today I could not leave the chair because I was just wondering. Every slide was so informative. In fact, many things. I use the word this line to my students, to my fellow colleagues, that now the days are coming for learning, unlearning, and relearning. But I think today the learning has become more, rather relearning. What should I say? Because when you are talked about that AI is taking the humans, activities, I should say one word: human will be prevailing every time. Human will be because human is the creator of AI. Human's role cannot be, can never be taken by AI. I feel in this way. Rather, I should say the humanity is one of the word. I don't know how this robotics and other will be brought. This robotics and everything you are telling, but robotity, if I talk, the humanity is, the whole world. Actually, this populations of the world rests upon this humanity, and this humanity would definitely, I think, the robotics will help to enhance the humanity of the people also, because as you have told, the ethics is one of the part, and ethics is grossly connected with the humanity. Though when we see that the law of torts in many countries, law of torts is not followed. Law of torts is also one of the law which is basically on the ethics only. So I think today's session has become a very, I should say this it's a robust session. I am really happy in there is a kahabat, there is one, I believe when it ends well, everything goes well. So today is the 30th December. It has ended. Our BFSIB has been really feeling very much proud to be associated with you today. The first webinar you have done, and in the future, definitely whatever suggestions you have made, and I will definitely convey your message to my director of studies, and I will convey my message to my president and the entire council, that how we should have remap. Of course, in our budgetary control budget, we have introduced many facets, and perhaps the whatever areas you have touched upon, maybe we have done in a very, you have given a some message to the readers, to the students, but it should be a deep driven, it should be there. Otherwise, the days are coming. Our young, generally what we believe, that our CMS will be smart, where A stands for your skilling and upskilling every day. We are telling to our students, and M, you should be mentally very strong to accept any challenge, because the days are for the challenge days, that you have to accept challenge. And A, your attitude will be your attitude for positive attitude, 100% positive attitude, and you are a rational thinker. You have told about that emotional intelligence and other things. We are telling our students that you have to be a rational thinker, and you have to be also, you have to be believer, that you, whatever you are thinking, that would be your thought process will influence others also to take the right decisions in your company. And key, just technologically and technically, you must be very strong. So today your session has given this message to us, and we are feeling confident that smart concept, that is a really, the concept is really aligning with your whole your actually every slide you have given your concept of making more and more technically, you have to be strong. And definitely we will be very much happy to see you in Kolkata or in Delhi or in any metro city. In your physical presence will further help us, and further students will be getting more and more enthusiastic to learn from you. Let us see, and we shall have an program on that also. So with this, I am really very much thankful to you for having your presence and giving your valuable time sitting at Dubai to India. I am really very thankful to you, and I wish you all the best in the new year 2024. And I pray to Almighty for keeping your good health and your activity as strong as ever. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for the kind words and blessings. And it was real precious moment to share my humble knowledge with all of you. So a lot of learning also from all of you. So sure we'll meet soon, sir. Thanks a lot and wishing you all a very happy, prosperous, healthy and successful New Year 2020.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, with that, we come to the end of this session. Thank you so much. But before wrap up, I would like to thank CMA Ashwinji Dalwadi, our President, ICMAI, CMA BB Nayak, Vice President, ICMAI, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman, BFSIB, and the BFSIB board members for their support and encouragement. I thank our CAP department and IT department for helping us to arrange this webinar. I also thank CMA Dibyendu Roy, our Additional Director, Secretary and HOD BFSIB for his guidance and support, and also Ms. Indrakshi Bhattacharya and Mr. Santanu Pradhan for extending their help and support. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us. Meet you next time. Till then, have a great time and a very happy New Year. Thank you, everybody.